Ron and JC go animal hunting in the desert. JC's journey into the Australian outback as an opal miner takes him on a transforming route, where he not only discovers the valuable gemstones, but also learns the value of traditional hunting skills, gun safety, and survival tactics in the desert. JC's adventure into the Australian outback as an opal miner puts him on a path that leads him to the Australian outback. JC has a renewed awareness for the ways in which cultural traditions, self-reliance, and care for the natural environment are all intertwined as a result of the experiences he's had. As JC goes on a kangaroo hunt with Chris, a local police officer who is also an accomplished indigenous hunter, he learns about the significance of hunting in the culture of indigenous people. Chris is an outstanding Aboriginal hunter. Chris adds that as an Aboriginal person, he has the legal power to kill kangaroos for his own subsistence as well as to provide for the community. This allows him to fulfill his responsibility to provide for the community. Hunting is not only necessary for one's physical well-being, but also serves as a method for maintaining cultural traditions that have been handed down from generation to generation. JC exhibits a willingness to learn and develop, in spite of the fact that he does not have any previous experience hunting. During the course of the search, he came upon a sleeping kangaroo, which he approached with extreme caution in order to take a shot at it. Chris, however, discovers that JC has failed to put the bolt into his weapon, which prevents JC from firing it. JC realizes his error, receives direction from Chris on how to fix it, and is ultimately successful in shooting the kangaroo. This results in a quick and painless death for the animal. After being successful in their hunt, the party makes the decision to prepare and roast the kangaroo in the same way that it would have been done by indigenous people in the past. Chris acts as JC's mentor throughout the process, stressing the importance of taking a cultural perspective throughout. They extract the kangaroo's stomach, which Chris compares to the traditional haggis served in Scotland, and properly clean it before cooking the kangaroo meat over an open fire with hot coals covering it. Chris likens the kangaroo meat to haggis. JC mulls over his initial trepidation regarding the procedure as the kangaroo roast in the oven. On the other hand, as the meat draws closer to completion and becomes closer to being suitable for consumption, he feels an increase in self-assurance and pride in his accomplishments. Traditional methods of preparation and cooking not only offer a one-of-a-kind gourmet experience, but they also highlight how important it is to show animals respect and make use of every part of the game that is hunted. Traditional methods of preparation and cooking also provide an opportunity to preserve cultural traditions. JC comes away from his time spent hunting and learning about traditional food with a sense of increased self-assurance and contentment. The praise he receives from Rod, a fellow miner, further strengthens his sense of accomplishment, and he is aware that he's acquiring valuable skills and knowledge along the way. This experience has marked JC's personal progress by considerably enhancing his maturity and awareness of the relevance of hunting and cultural traditions in the context of opal mining in the Australian outback. This experience also marks JC's grasp of the significance of hunting and cultural traditions. Even though JC's quest is mostly focused on opal mining, it quickly becomes clear that being successful in this line of work requires more than just the discovery of valuable gemstones. In the harsh climate of the desert, where there are few resources and many creatures that prey on their prey, having the skills necessary to survive is absolutely necessary. Opal miners need to have a comprehensive knowledge of gun safety as well as hunting tactics in order for them to be able to protect themselves and thrive in these conditions. JC goes to a shooting range in order to gain the essential abilities. There, he is instructed by John Didana, an experienced trainer for kangaroo shooters, who is a kangaroo shooter himself.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right, mate, I spoke to you on the phone.
Yeah.
It's my mate, JC.
JC, yeah, good.
JC freely acknowledges that he does not have any experience with firearms, which draws attention to the fact that he is inexperienced in this particular area. During JC's training, John places an emphasis on gun safety by giving him an in-depth briefing on the various components of the weapon, as well as instructions on how to load the rifle and aim down the scope.
I'm in.
You're in.
I think that first shot was a bit of beginner's luck.
When they're doing the roost shooting course, they got to get 5 rounds inside here, so you've already got 1.
After that, JC puts his shooting talents to the test by taking aim at a target that is 100 meters away. Manages to wow both Rod and John by hitting the target with each of his 5 shots. Rod recognizes that his initial attempt was a beginner's mistake, which indicates that there is room for progress. This highlights the steep learning curve that JC needs to cross in order to become a good hunter and master the art of accurate shooting. JC's self-assurance is boosted, and he is equipped with essential abilities that he can put to use right away in his hunts as a direct result of the training session he received at the shooting range. Activities that take place in the woods, like gun safety, continue to be a primary concern, and an emphasis is placed on the significance of taking precautions to safeguard one's health and safety while working in distant and desolate mining locations. The ability to handle weapons in a responsible and accurate manner is a vital part of opal mining. This ensures that miners can protect themselves against the potentially dangerous creatures that live in the desert. Opal mining, on the other hand, involves more than merely hunting and the careful use of firearms. To be successful in the harsh environment of the desert, one needs to possess a diverse set of survival abilities. In addition to finding opals, miners need to be adept at traversing high temperatures, obtaining sources of food and water, and adapting to the limitations of living in a remote location. Opal miners have to be completely self-sufficient because there are so few resources available in the desert. For them to be able to provide for themselves, they need the skills to recognize plants that can be eaten and locate sources of water. Because of this ability, they are able to satisfy their fundamental requirements and protect their health even when working in remote locations. Moreover, the construction of temporary shelters becomes essential as a means of providing protection against the elements, including temperatures that are extremely high and varying weather conditions. It is equally important for opal miners to have a good understanding of the local flora and wildlife. Because of this information, they're able to avoid potentially dangerous plants and animals, hence reducing the dangers to which they are exposed. Dingoes and other carnivores live in the desert, and these are 2 of the many types of animals that miners need to watch out for in this environment. In order to assure one's own safety and protection from any potential threats, it's essential to be skilled in both hunting and the use of firearms when opal mining in the desert is being pursued. Being able to live and work in distant areas needs a certain level of toughness, resourcefulness, and adaptability. Miners of opal need to cultivate these skills in order to survive the difficulties presented by the harsh desert environment. Their capacity to preserve in solitary confinement, a dearth of available resources, and harsh environments is a significant factor in their level of success in the chosen career. That's all for today. We'll be right back, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next one.